So, what's in a name? Quite a bit actually, but let's take this brand new Ducati Monster and test it on its own merit. See how it holds up as a motorcycle instead of a badge. Let's jump straight into it.
You wouldn't normally use the words naked bike and comfort in the same sentence, but we're happy to report that the new Monster is indeed comfortable. There's a short reach to the bars, perching you over the front wheel like you're riding a supermoto. As a result, you're in the perfect position to lean forward and counteract wind blast. Riders with longer legs might feel a bit cramped with the foot peg placement, but shorter riders will feel right at home. All-day touring might be a bit of a stretch, but for weekend commuting or a Sunday blast, it's perfect. Wind protection is non-existent due to the whole naked bike thing. This will limit your cruising speed and fatigue threshold, especially for taller riders. But as mentioned before, you are leaned forward so you can easily deal with the wind blast in nice, clean air. The switchgear feels nice and solid. All the buttons have a satisfying click when pressed, giving you good tactile feedback. The only gripe we have is the illogical layout and silly menu operations. Specifically, figuring out when to use a long press or a short press to enter a menu or change riding modes. Living with it, you'll probably get used to it. On the left side of the handlebar, we have flash to pass trigger, high beam low beam switch, menu up and down switch, indicator, /mode, /enter button, and a decent sounding horn. On the right, engine start and kill switch, daytime running light button, and a hazard light switch. The dash is small and compact but stuffed with info. It's easy to read in both day and night mode without glare interfering too much. Some of the info displayed includes a big round tack, gear position indicator, speed readout, current riding mode, a clock, rider assist settings, ambient temperature, various bits of trip information, and a fuel gauge. There's a lot of menu digging needed to find the settings you're after, but if you're patient, you will prevail. The little Monster is packed to the gills with tech. Some of the headline features are 3 fully customizable riding modes, up and down quick shifter, cornering ABS, adjustable traction control, launch control, not that you're going to need it on the morning commute, anti-wheelie control, lap timer, maybe to time your coffee runs, LED lighting all round, and a USB power socket under the seat. All of this fitted as standard, pretty good value for money if you ask us. Not necessarily designed for tour-up riding, the Monster has provisions for a passenger, but we would only recommend short distance trips of around 45 minutes or so. The seat is pretty hard and the pegs are quite high up. On the plus side, the Monster has more than enough power to carry a pillion. We'd recommend urban mode as it smooths out inputs, adding to passenger comfort. The little Ducati is a thirsty bugger when ridden in anger. Dialing it back a bit will yield around 6.2 litres per 100 k's from the 14-litre tank. But the raucous nature of this bike means that realistically, you'll be getting around 225 k's on a tank. As for luggage, there's none as standard apart from the littlest cubby under the seat. You'll have to trawl the aftermarket catalogs for options. We'll check in with Ducati for OEM options in a later video. The Ducati Monster sports a low and very approachable seat height of only 820 mils. It's very comfy for trekking to work and back, as well as weekend leg stretches. It's nice that it also narrows at the front, allowing shorter riders to easily reach the deck. The standard mirrors are very useful at showing you your own elbows. We'd recommend immediately swapping them out for a set of bar-end mirrors. We never felt comfortable with them, no matter how much we adjusted them, and at times it felt downright unsafe. The adjustable hydraulic clutch feels light initially, but once you're in stop-start traffic, your fingers will get a proper workout. Fortunately, out on the open road there's no real need for it after setting off, thanks to the quick shifter. Speaking of, the gearbox works fantastic with that up and down quick shifter. There has been the odd occasion where it's been a little slow to respond to inputs, but overall it works great. Shifting high in the RPM range smooths it out, and tapping it down results in the most spectacular crackles and pops from the exhaust. It's so addictive and fun and adds so much to the overall riding experience. Neutral is easy enough to find without searching too hard, and on the topic of false neutrals, we did have one or two, but not too often. The trick here is to be assertive in your gear changes and you'll be fine. The Monster has a decent turning circle helped by the wide handlebars. However, it's not as tight as you'd expect, so don't get caught off guard. A low seat height combined with low weight makes parking and reversing the bike super easy for riders of all sizes. See? Straight out of the gate, we have to say we really dig the Cyclops look. Squared up from the front is probably the bike's best angle. The LED headlight works great at lighting up the road ahead at night, and the brights performing equally well. The daytime running lights do exactly what they're intended to do, make you visible to other road users. A full complement of LED lights front to back is an excellent touch, and just look at those scrolling indicators. While the kickstand doesn't lean the bike too far over, it feels a little flimsy when flicking it out. It has caused us to second guess whether it's actually fully extended or not a few times. On the plus side, it's very easy to find when popping it out or hooking it back in. Now we have to address the L-twin in the room. The 937cc Testa Stretta engine, as found in the Multistrada V2, the Supersport, as well as the upcoming Desert X, means Ducati is banking heavily on this power plant, and we can see why. This engine is superb, especially when you grab this bike by the scruff of its neck and wring it out. There's plenty of torque to get you launched off the line, and more than enough top end to keep you whizzing along at less than legal speeds. This is especially true in first and second gear, where keeping the front end on the ground is very much optional. Sure, it gets a bit buzzy through the pegs at certain RPMs, but that's to be expected from this kind of engine. It's not all lunacy all the time though. If you can restrain yourself for long enough, the Monster makes for a decent city riding companion, capable of ambling around town looking for the best photo ops. It is at this point we'll also bring rider modes into the equation, of which it has 3. Urban, where electronic interference is at its highest, tames the beast to the point where it becomes a manageable commuter. It unofficially doubles up as a rain mode. Touring, the setting you'll be in most often. Power delivery and rider aids are kept in a perfect balance between civilized and insane. Sport, now it's just you and the machine. The only thing keeping you in check is your right wrist. The electronics are taking the day off. A full 111 horsepower is now at your disposal. Make sure you keep your wits about you. All 3 rider modes are fully customizable so you can create your own riding experience. One last thing to note is the engine does run pretty hot in stop-start traffic, so prepare to feel toasty. Although an optional extra, the Termione exhaust, sorry to any Italians watching, fitted to this bike is undoubtedly the jewel in its crown. We would absolutely 100% recommend you look at getting them fitted if you're interested in buying this bike. And this is why. The Monster is furnished with a set of stonking good Brembo 4-pot calipers grabbing 2320mm discs up front. The adjustable brake lever gives great feel on initial bite, and coupled with cornering ABS, you really don't have to worry about getting this bike slowed down in a hurry. There's a fair bit of fork dive under braking though. It also has a good amount of engine brake as well. The only downside is the rear brake feels like cheese. The bike has non-adjustable 43mm upside down forks. While it does the job fairly well, the front end can feel a bit spongy when you really push it through the corners. There's also an odd feeling of front end vagueness through slow speed corners. In a straight line, the bike tracks true with the very confidence-inspiring stability. The rear has preload adjustability, but you'll need a C-spanner for that. The soft-sprung nature of this bike makes it great for the kinds of roads you're likely to encounter with daily use. It will soak up bumps and imperfections without shattering your spine. We would, however, love to see a Monster Plus edition with a fully adjustable Öhlins setup or something, because a bike with this kind of hooligan streak deserves it. This bike is an absolute featherweight, weighing in at only 188 kilos fully fueled. This makes it super easy to move around the garage or just maneuver in general. The OEM tires fitted to the Monster are the incredibly grippy Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3s. They suit the bike fantastically, and we can't fault their performance at all. Is it beginner friendly? Not really. You could obviously start out on it and be just fine. Many have. But we feel that even in Ducati's own lineup, there are better options. An absolute beginner might find it a bit intimidating. Moving up from a smaller bike, this would be awesome. It might even be a great option for returning riders keen to step into the wonderful world of Ducatis. Is this the bike to have if you could only have one? You could very easily only have a Monster in your garage and be just fine. It can commute, do weekend duty, and maybe if you're a certain kind of crazy, some light touring, if you can get luggage sorted. Competition is tight in this popular segment, and in our opinion, the biggest threats to the Monster will come from the following bikes. There's a bit of poetry between the deep red color of this bike and the traffic lights you'll be dancing between. The way it adds a bit of drama to the scenery. It works as a motorcycle, but also as art. At a distance. Look closely and you will find a few rough edges that we feel should be finished off a bit more neatly, like you'd expect from a premium Italian brand. But take nothing away from it. Sure, with the Monster badge comes a lot of expectation, but honestly, it's time to embrace the 21st century and accept that things change. Yes, it's not perfect, but I challenge you to ride this bike and not come back smiling. Ducati is blazing a new trail, one that makes their motorcycles accessible to more people, starting with this. The revolution is coming, and it's painted Rosso. Thanks for watching.